Something quite unusual happened on Wednesday, a joint address to the European Parliament by the French President and the German Chancellor, something not seen since 1989. Back then, the German and French leaders came together to talk about the fall of the Berlin Wall. This time, the theme was the future of the European Union.
Angela Merkel and François Hollande called on an increasingly divided EU to come together to tackle a series of major issues, including the Greek debt drama and the so-called European migrant crisis. Well, I've been talking to the French Socialist MP, Christophe Premat. With the arrival of tens of thousands of migrants and refugees fueling nationalist sentiments across the EU, might that call for unity fall on deaf ears?
Yes, that's a worry because you have to define the frontiers, also the borders, the outside borders as well, because we live with the Schengen zone and believing that people could just could move free in Europe, in the different EU member states. But at the same time, we need to define the outside borders. I think that maybe the next step is to refine the Dublin Agreement in order to make sure that we reinforce the situation of these outside borders, because it's very sensitive right now. I think about Turkey, I think about North Africa. So I think in order to accomplish the European project, you need to put a limit. And that was the message today as well from Mr. Hollande and Mrs. Merkel.
Is that in a way also responding to the fears of those members from Central Europe who are struggling to see this idea that taking in refugees will lead to economic benefits? I mean, Chancellor Merkel says the opportunities are greater than the risks. There are an awful lot of people across the Union who don't really buy that argument.
Well, I can understand that you don't buy this economical argument right now because you see the crisis. But at the same time, I think that those European countries need to remember that a few years ago they were just going outside dictatorships and strong regimes. And I think that's okay. It's not the same level, but you need to think about what kind of Europe you would like to have and what kind of economical project. Of course, you can have different ways, maybe economical policies, and I think we should maybe revise some of them. We should discuss some of that because there are no taboos right now in Europe. But we need to know if every EU member state is ready to continue with the European projects. That's the step number one. Then the step number two, I think we need to coordinate more and regulate some policies. I think that's very important in order to make sure that we have a safe trade inside Europe and that we can have an economical development as well.
You still believe in the European Union, clearly?
Yes, I believe in the European Union because I think it's a great project. Well, if you come back to the speech of Robert Schuman in the 9th May of 1950, I think it was very interesting because Robert Schuman said if we start to think about a political project, then the European Union would never come true. But if we start to discuss economical policies, integration, enlargement, or then we see that the European project is more a practical one, and I think it's a very interesting idea that we need to continue. Of course, maybe some of the policies should be questioned when I think about the Dublin Agreement with the security of the outside borders or the policies as well.
French MP Christophe Premat.